I stand before the canvas and whisper, "Look at this smile. It seems polite, but it hides a knife behind its back." This is not just a portrait of a merchant. It's a map of a scam, where every brushstroke is a trace, and every shadow is a sign. Do you want to know how he was outsmarted? The city buzzes with the fair, cobblestones, lanterns, the chime of scales. In the center, his stall, fabrics from the east, stones from the mountains, paintings from ancient collections. He doesn't sell things, he sells a legend, and the smile does the rest. His schemes are multi-layered. Apprentices mix pigments, glass cutters polish glass into rubies, calligraphers prepare ancient descriptions of origin. In the end, a dream product. In your purse, hope. In his, your coins. One day, he humiliated Livia, a master engraver. She bought a rare copper plate, but received rotten iron that bent like a bow. The market's laughter hurts longer than losing money. But Livia smirked, "Okay, we'll play your game." Livia began to watch. Who carried the crates? Whom the merchant whispered with after sunset? Where rumors appeared. She made a map of weaknesses. His pride, his love for unique proofs, and his pathological fear of missing a big catch. She gathered a team. Luca, a spice merchant who knew every tongue of the market. Paolo, a scribe who copied seals no worse than the originals. Isabella, a glass blower with chameleon hands. Each one a legend, together a mechanism. The plan was simple and insane, to create a canvas proof of the existence of a legendary cargo that once vanished in the seas. Not treasure, a story about treasure. The kind that would make the merchant drool with joy. Isabella added pearl powder to the paint so that under candlelight, the sea on the canvas looked alive. And Livia hid in the sails a tiny inscription, "Humility for fools." It could only be seen through a magnifying glass made by Isabella herself. Paolo wrote the ancient description, the crest of an old family, a list of ports, even marks of winds. Into each paragraph, he slipped invisible hooks, tiny inaccuracies that only someone who lies for years could spot. Isabella made a frame with a hidden latch. Press the bronze leaf and the canvas would flip, revealing a second layer, a caricature of the merchant. Just in case, for the final laugh, Luca spread rumors. In the tavern, at the pier, by the scales, they say there's a painting proving the existence of a lost cargo of spices. He spoke it as if by chance, then left. The rumor grew by itself. A playful scene. Luca puts an empty sack on the scales and shouts, "Fresh air from the east." Merchants burst into laughter. Someone adds, "We should sell the merchant's shadow too." The crowd roars. The merchant pretends to laugh, but clenches his fists. The meeting with the merchant happens by accident. Luca whispers to Livia, "Not for everyone." The merchant swims closer like a pike. "For me, for everyone." They show him the canvas, sea, ship, crest, signature. In his eyes, the ringing of coins. He tests the legend. Candle, shadow, scent of paint. The taste of authenticity, he says, as if he can taste time itself. He asks for the description of origin. Paolo hands him a parchment with a blot, beautifully filled with nonsense. The merchant swoons. Bargaining? No. He fears losing the prize and pays immediately, even adding a silence premium. The deal is sealed, the frame packed, rumors ready to explode. The team smiles, though their pockets are still empty. The next day, the merchant unveils the curtain in his shop. Proof, a legend in paint. People flock. He plans to sell it for 10, maybe 15 times more. On the table, a glass of wine. In his soul, fireworks. Livia lets thin wine vapor drift through the air. For the aroma of the exhibition, the mist touches the canvas, and on the sails, tiny lines slowly appear. At first like silky veins, then words. People begin to read. The merchant laughs nervously. "Surely these are old navigation markers." Isabella places the magnifying glass. The microtext forms a phrase. The false merchant's smile. The crowd quiets like before the drumbeat. Luca accidentally touches the bronze leaf on the frame. The canvas clicks and flips. before everyone. The second layer, the merchant with the same grin. But from his purse spills not gold but peas and beans. The market bursts into laughter. The merchant tries to keep his dignity, pulls out a ruby to distract attention, bites it, and breaks his tooth on hardened sugar. Bees from the honey vendor's stall swarm to the sweet. He flails his arms like a sail in a storm. Livia steps forward. Calmly, she shows the microtext, the description, the tiny hooks in the legend, and the blade mark of the graver. A unique line known only to a master. We gave you a mirror. You bought your own method. Retail. Paolo shows another proof. On the crest, a barely visible inversion. Only those who forge in haste make such mistakes. The merchant pales. People recall their purchases. Laughter mixes with the rustle of coins in other pockets. The final touch, beneath the frame, a hidden label. This painting was paid for by the one who loves to pay first. The merchant reads aloud and realizes he has signed his own downfall. His smile curdles. Livia does not seek cruel revenge. She offers a pact of justice. You return people's money, fund a school of crafts, and take down the sign of legends. If you want to stay in this city, start honestly. The crowd nods. It is beautiful. That's why the smile remained on the canvas. Now it is a monument not to greed but to outwitted cunning. And you? What scams have you personally fallen for? Write in the comments. Perhaps your story will become the plot of the next painting. If you enjoyed our story, give it a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Stories of the Gallerist. This helps us and YouTube promote this kind of content. Thank you for watching the video till the end. We'd be very grateful if you share the link to this video with your friends.